So today we are going to see fundamental steps in digital image processing. Before going to that, we'll understand various levels of image processing. There are three types of image processing: low level, mid level, and high level. So what is the difference between is in low level, input is image and output is also image. And for example, if you see any image sharpening, so input will be giving an image. After image sharpening, output also will get an image. In mid-level processing, input will be image, output will be an attributes. Attributes means a portion of it or a property of it or element of the image. So that is called attributes. For example, segmentation, object recognition, this all comes in mid-level processing. Then next is high level processing where the input is attributes, output is an understanding and working on it. So for example, autonomous navigation. So input attributes will be given. According to that, it has to understand and drive the vehicle, okay, autonomously. See, now we'll see fundamental steps in digital image processing. If you see the first block, second block, third, four, five, six, seven, the seven blocks are low level process. Why it is low level process? Because input is image, output is an image. So first seven blocks are low level process. And next this side blocks are called mid level process because input is image, output are attributes. So these are all called mid level process. And we have a knowledge base in between that. So we will understand each and every block now. The first step is image acquisition. Okay. In image acquisition, we have an imaging system. Using that, we'll take an source element picture and we will digitalize that. Okay. So we'll get a digital form of image here so that we can process that to the next level. The next is step 2 is image enhancement. Here we manipulate an image so that the result is more suitable than the original one for certain applications. So in the image, what happens? Some details are hidden. So we want to highlight that particular features. Then we go for image enhancement. For example, if you see, this picture is from Google Earth. Okay. So this is not very clear. So if we enhance it, we get a clear picture. Okay. And if you see in the next example, this is an eye. So these eyelashes are not prominent. We want to enhance this particular feature. So what we do, we enhance it and the next picture, eyelashes are very clear. So for highlighting a particular feature, we can go for an enhancement. For example, if you want to upload a picture in Instagram, before that we do an image enhancement. Okay. For example, it's two friends are taking a picture and they want to upload it in Instagram and two are uploading in their accounts. So one will do color brightness or brightness of the light, something like that. The other will do the image contrast stretching or white balance or gain adjustment, something like that. Same picture, but they do different enhancement and upload the picture. So image enhancement is subjective. It depends upon person to person. Next, it comes to image restoration. So in image restoration, attempts to restore images that have been degraded. So what we do here, we identify the degradation process and attempt to reverse it. For example, this is an image, degraded image, okay? And we want to find how it is degraded. So for example, if there is a noise in that, we will understand what type of noise is there. We will reverse that process. We will remove the noise using a filter and we restore the image. So this process is called as image restoration. Okay. So here, this is an objective type because like enhancement is subjective. This is objective because there is only one way to restore the image, that is to find how it is degraded and reverse the process. So in this image restoration, improve the appearance of an image. And here also it is mentioned like enhancement is subjective, image restoration is objective. Okay. See now we'll study about color image processing. R RGB, red, green and blue. Okay. Each color is having 8 bit. So totally 24 bit. And the gray shades are 256. If we see the color cube here, we can see three primary colors which are red, blue, green. Okay. The three corners are primary colors. If we mix blue and green, we get cyan. If we mix blue and red, we get magenta. Green and red, yellow. Okay. So these are the secondary colors. The other two corners are black and white. So totally how many gray shades each color has is 256. So if we multiply 256, it's not 255. 256 into 256 into 256, it is 16777 colors. So if you use three colors, it will have these many shades. Okay. So what is the use of color image processing? With the help of the color of the image, we can extract feature of interest in an image. For example, if you see the MRI of brain tumor patient, the tumor will be in different color than the normal brain. So with the help of the color, the doctor can analyze easily how much the tumor is spread, there are other specifications. So the color image processing is very useful in biomedical field. And also nowadays all the images in internet are color. So now color image processing is very significant in the internet period. Okay. Next is wavelet and multi-resolution process. Wavelet are the foundation for representing image in various degree of resolution. For example, if we see resolution, if we see in YouTube also, if we see watch a movie, in settings we can go and change the resolution of that. Sometimes 750, sometimes we can go for 1080. So why we go for a different resolution? If you use a lesser resolution picture or movie, what happens? The data required is very less. And if you want to compress that movie also, easily it can be done. So while downloading, it will be asking the resolution, which resolution you want to download. So if you use a low resolution, data will be minimized. And if you also want to transmit it in lower bandwidth, we can transmit the data. Next step is compression. So compression is reduce the image size for storage. Okay. The compression also removes redundancy. So for example, if you compress the data or image, and if you want to transmit, so we can transmit with minimum bandwidth. So always we compress the data into minimum so that we can transmit easily. For example, here if you take a original image, it is 116 KB. And still in the second picture, it is reduced to 12.9 KB. And again, the third picture, it is reduced to a smaller size, 1.95 KB. Okay. So what is the importance of compression? We reduce the size to save the data so that if you want to transmit, you can transmit in a lower bandwidth or minimum bandwidth. Okay.
Step 7 is morphological processing, that is mid-level process. So here the input is image, but output is attributes of the image. So what we do here is extract image components that are useful in the representation and description of region shape, such as boundary extraction, skeletons, convex hull, morphological filtering, thinning, many more things. For example, if we take a fingerprint, okay, this is a original fingerprint, and we do the skeleton of this fingerprint, so we get the next second image. So here we select a feature like a dot or some crossover, and we compare with the original database. When both are matching, then the object is recognized. Step 8, image segmentation. In this, a image is separated into many smaller parts or objects so that we can recognize the objects. In general, autonomous segmentation is one of the most difficult tasks in digital image processing. Okay, so how accurate we do the segmentation, the more likely we can recognize the object. Okay. Step 9 is representation and descriptions. So, how to represent an object? For example, boundary representation or region representation. In boundary representation, we only consider the outer part or corners like that, only focus on the external shape characteristics. But in region representation, we focus on internal properties like texture, what is the texture, skeleton shapes like that. So, choosing and representation is only part of the solution for transforming raw data into a form suitable for subsequent computer processing. Next comes to description. This is called feature selection, which deals with extracting attributes that results in some information of interest. Step 10 is recognition and interpretation. So recognition means we have to recognize the object based on the information provided by its description. Object recognition. So object detection is a process of finding an object in images. If there are multiple objects in the image, it has to be identified and located in the same image. And this is very much useful in many applications such as monitoring, medical analysis, navigations, etc. Okay. So if there is a three cars, for example, in this image, we have three cars. The three cars has to be identified and notified. Step 11 is a knowledge base. Knowledge about a problem domain is coded into an image processing system in the form of knowledge database.